Hey everybody, welcome to Collider Games. I'm Marc Fernandez, and today we have a very, very special show because we get to talk to Mat Kraemer, the creative director at Sanzaru Games, the developers behind Marvel Powers United VR on the Oculus Rift, one of my personal favorites of the year. And can you tell me a little bit about how you guys even picked up the license period? Like, how did Marvel want to even take a leap into VR?
Yeah, it was really Oculus. You know, they wanted to do a Marvel game, a multiplayer Marvel game. You know, and they had reached out to Marvel, and then they needed someone to make the game, and then they reached out to us. So it's really been a collaboration of Oculus, Marvel, and Sanzaru Games together. Working collaboratively to bring this to light. But yeah, it's been a great process overall.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, so when I started playing the game, and I did like a whole little review on the channel for it because I got really obsessed with it, and I'm an old school, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but not really, I guess, because like there's a lot of people like me out there, but I'm an old school WoW player, and I love playing WoW, and for me, one of the things that I got off on with WoW, especially in the earlier days, like in the quote unquote vanilla days, and then like in Burning Crusade, was like trying to tear up the damage meters playing my mage. That was that was the thing. Just put the gas on the pedal, and I'm obsessed with SpiderMan, and I started when I was playing Marvel VR, I was like, wow, the SpiderMan character is so friggin' cool. And I take offense because there's like a lot of, you've probably seen this, there's a lot of comments online and even reviews that say, oh, Spider-Man is awesome.
Swing and I want to do
this. You can't swing. You can, first of all, you can absolutely swing. Like, I think you can absolutely swing. How do you react when you hear that people say that you can't swing in Powers Unlimited?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you get the feeling of being Spidey. We don't have free swinging as people want to have because you're going to get sick moving that fast. But I think what we have in there now, using him to get around, really feels like him. But yeah, we read all the comments and feedback and try to address it as best we could.
Yeah.
And Spidey's interesting because he's the most technically. I'd say he's the most technical character in the game. He plays very different than our other 18 heroes, and we're really happy how he turned out.
Oh,
and
me too.
Marvel and everyone else is. So
yeah, I am
super happy with that.
I think, and like I'm gonna get a slightly philosophical here on you, but
sure.
I think that when you dream, right, when you go to sleep and you're dreaming, people often experience the dream of flying, and then when you have the flying dream, typical for most people, the flying is very cumbersome. It doesn't really feel right, right? Like you can't really fly. You end up falling a lot. Same thing with punching, right? Like not a lot of people fly and not a lot of people fight. So when you in a dream, when you're trying to fight, since you don't have a visual sort of memory of it, your subconscious doesn't really know how to do it, and that's really why fighting feels so weird and the punches are so slow and stuff like that. I've always had Spidey dreams throughout my life, and the swinging is always like kind of like a rough part. But now I've had dreams post playing Marvel Powers Unlimited where I swing exactly how I remember swinging inside the game. So the game has almost created that neurological connection in my subconscious of what swinging would feel like. And, I actually think you guys did an excellent, first of all, I think you did an excellent job with Spider-Man.
Cool, thank you.
And,
it's interesting you bring up like because we work on the game, we've been working on VR stuff for, a couple years now, and it's very different development, than console. We've done a lot of Sly Cooper and Sonic and a bunch of other games, but like you're so visceral, you're so in there. Literally, when we're done, and I'm going to sleep, like you're saying, my mind is just going.
Yeah.
You really get that sense of, it just won't stop, and your brain is like just still moving. It's just so visceral when you're building the game and getting that together. So
Yeah, when I also, and like, a little cheat, or not a little cheat, but a little fun fact for the fans out there, when if you're playing Spider-Man and you know how to, and you start to like master the mechanics of the rapid fire web shooters, bringing
Yep.
wrapping up the opponents, bringing them towards you, giving them that punch in the face. I mean, like, you talk about busting up the damage meters. I literally, and I have proof of this in footage on the channel. I mean, I can do 400,000 to 500,000 damage with Spider-Man, and the next one on the list is like 45. Like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is a beast in that game.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, if you're a really good technical player and you get really good at him, you can get some really high DPS and score out of him. So.
Do you guys look? One other thing that blew my mind when I was playing the game, like, we not to focus too much on Spidey, but like, so another character that I played that I had a blast playing was, even though I thought it was very difficult for me, in my play style, it was a little bit more difficult because it was much more of a melee character, was the Hulk. But,
Oh yeah.
But the thing that I loved about the Hulk, and I'm dying to get an insight into how you made that creative shift, is that when you play as the Hulk, you have a different perspective of scale as you do when you play with Spider-Man. And, you walk up to Deadpool, and Deadpool literally feels like a little doll. And, you can literally pick up enemies with your hands and, like, slam them and throw them across the room. Like, was that, like... Because it doesn't seem... Like, it seems kind of obvious, but not really as from a game design perspective. How did you guys say, you know what, we're going to change the feeling of scale depending on which character you're playing?
Yeah. I mean, that was a big thing from the start. When you think of, I always use Hulk and Rocket Raccoon as an example, just because they're so different. But, when you get in there in VR, we really want to ensure that you feel like those characters. And, if you're going to feel like Hulk, you're going to be taller than everyone. You're going to be bigger than everyone. If you're playing as Rocket, you're going to be really small, and you're going to be looking up at people waving at them. And, again, it's giving that sense of scale, that sense of detail to each of the characters, to really resonate with what people think those characters would be like if you were them. So a lot of time and detail spent on that.
Was there a point where... Because, like, I can imagine... Look, I've obviously designed my own games, and I know how that process works. Was there a point where you guys just kind of assumed that everybody was going to be the same scale, that, you weren't going to be playing around with scale, or was playing around with scale something that you guys had from the beginning?
We had that from the beginning. I mean, each of the models, like, none of them are shared. They're all different. They're different rigs for all of them. And that was something that we brought to the table from the beginning and we wanted to do. And, another thing from the beginning, we really look at each, again, we have 18 heroes. It's like, what makes Spider-Man, Spider-Man? What makes Rocket, Rocket? And really, picking through their arsenal of weapons, their personality, and their moves, and just ensuring that we bring that to each of the characters.
Yeah, and another character that I've been playing a lot. So I've played the, there, in the game, there's this kind of progression mechanic of getting 4 stars in each of these 4 different categories of moves that are like kind of like achievements. But once you get the 4 stars, you kind of unlock the 4-star version. It's not really an unlock per se, but now your character is at 4 stars, which is, feels like a nice little accomplishment. And every time you unlock one of those little boxes, you get a bone, and all these little, all these things. And so Spider-Man obviously like fully unlocked. The even though I haven't gotten all the costumes, and I'm very curious to see what some of the other costumes are. And it's funny because I can't find a lot of info about that online. It's almost like you actually have to play it to get in there in those costumes. I think I have the costume that obviously came with the character, and then I have I believe you guys call it the modern, which is kind of like a gray, black, and white costume. Which looks great, but there's 3 or 4 other costumes, right?
Yeah, we got like Superior, and then Black Suit Spidey, and there's one more. I can't remember what the last one was, but yeah, we spent a lot of time on those too. And there's some there's some classic ones like, we have X-Force Deadpool.
Yeah, which I love that one. Yeah, that's the other character I've been playing that I wanted to get to, because that one.
Oh, he's a blast.
Yeah, that one feels like it's got all the tricks, to it.
Yeah, and like Storm, like you got to have 90s Storm with the Mohawk. Like we look at like what are the fan favorites? Like who would you want to, who would you want to see? And also the silhouette of the character when you look down. That's another thing to think about is, we want to make sure when you're playing as all those different costumes, when you look down at yourself, like it feels different. When you're playing Black Panther and you have the new armor, when you look at your arms and your body, it looks totally different. Like you feel almost like you're in a different costume.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with I forget the name of it right now, but the Deadpool costume that's all white. Is that the X-Force one?
That's the X-Force. Yeah.
Yeah, and like when you look at your arms and like the ninja stars and all these things, I mean, like it's the attention to detail on the modeling and the crispness of the gameplay is absolutely.
We have some killer character modelers on the team.
Yeah, that's excellent.
You know what? I always tell those guys, I'm like, this is a dream for you because, you're not making a third-person character that you jump around and you see from afar. I mean, you're making your character model, like people are going to look down, they're going to move their arm, they're going to get to see the model up close. And that goes with everything with VR, which is very difficult, from a development standpoint because, we don't know what people are going to do.
Yeah.
There's no camera movement with a right stick. There's no, they can look where they want to look, when they want to look. They can move their body how they want to move it, when they want to move it. But, as a developer, I like that challenge. I like that drive. I like to, personally push myself and the team. I think it just makes us better developers going through that.
Yeah, and like obviously, I come from a video game world where animation is such a huge part of the equation.
Yeah.
And with VR, like you are the animator in real time.
Yeah.
So
but what's interesting with that is like, it's like yes, you are the character. In Marvel Powers United VR, it's a full body experience. With IK. But from the third person, on other people's machines, sometimes we do animate.
That's interesting because it feels very natural.
Yes, and we pick key points where we want to play the animations and where you want to see the full body. So an example, like, if you're playing as Hulk and you go to leap, when he leaps in the air and then lands, like that's all canned animation. And it looks amazing when you look at it from the third person. So, picking those key points with each of those characters, what are we going to animate? When are we going to animate it? And when is it full body is just another exercise across all those characters.
Yeah, I always say that VR has its own process of natural selection, and that's going to separate the people that get seasick versus the people that don't. And the people that don't might inherit the earth, because in VR, I'm one of the people that do get seasick in VR pretty easily. Even though I played so much VR, it's crazy. And for me, the mitigating factor of not getting seasick in VR is usually teleportation, right? I think teleportation it helps me, But so when I downloaded the game and started playing it, and the demo has very limited teleportation because you're just kind of moving around. Even though I had the field of view, comfort thing on, it's still even that to somebody that gets seasick, it's a little bit weird. But I was so happy to learn, and this is why I got so into the game, that there is full on teleportation in the game. That's actually very seamlessly integrated. So it's not so much like choose one or the other. They're both kind of available at all times.
Yeah.
It's just about how you play the game.
We've had people that just use the teleport and then they start using, the normal stick movement and rotation, and they end up liking that more. And they're like, wow, I didn't know I like this like this.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer?
We try to. Oh, I'm full motion, full rotation.
Good, you're lucky.
Some people are crazy. You can actually turn off the the angled rotation and just have free rotate. And some people like to play like that.
Yeah.
And it's with VR, it's a difficult entry point for people. They got to put the thing on their head. They got to, it's a big thing. So you want to make sure that, we cater to all types of players. We cater to people that just bought it for the first time and they're playing it. We want to cater to the hardcore VR community, and just make sure that there's a little bit, for everybody.
Yeah, look, well, you've definitely done that, because I'm pretty hardcore VR, very cynical about most games. And when I popped the game in and I saw the Sanzaru logo, I started thinking football, and I was like, well, wait a minute, the football game was pretty damn good. Maybe this is going to be a treat, and it turned out to be a great treat. Especially all of the progression, unlocking the characters, picking up I'm going to forget the name of the item, but those little blue cubes that allow you to fight Thanos.
Yep. Have you fought him yet?
So I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've collected, I believe you need 25, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. And I think I've collected almost like 38. So I've been savoring it. I've been saving it. Because look, and this is one of the other things I want to get to, like the multiplayer factor of the game. Like, let's not forget this game is multiplayer, right? It's you and 3 other people. Now, sometimes, look, it's online, and it's you can't really control that kind of stuff. I've found some incredible games with people that are a joy to play with, and I've found some times where sometimes you get somebody that's like a younger player, and and the connection isn't quite there, or you get somebody that's really loud on their speak. So finding the right combo takes a little bit of time.
But once you do, man.
Oh, once you do, it's perfect. It's absolutely great. Yeah. So I've been worried to just pick the Thanos level and not have the right team. Even though one player that I found, because the community is actually also very cool. One player told me that you can actually do Thanos by yourself with AI. So I've been thinking about doing it that way, but I've been savoring it. I actually haven't fought Thanos quite yet.
I'll give you a good tip. Once you use the pass to go to Thanos, the next time that you have to collect the cubes to re-go there, it's less. You don't need 25.
I believe I read it on Reddit, which is it's only 10, right? I believe, to get the second time, which is great.
Yep.
So look, I'm very, very, very excited about fighting Thanos. I haven't quite done it yet. There's so many characters too. Like, let's not forget there's characters that full on fly. With Spidey, you have to find the right perches to get to if you want to have like a top down angle on the fight. But there's other characters like Storm that fly, and just absolutely amazing stuff. Now, is there, obviously it begs the question, is there a plan to keep expanding on this iteration of the game, or is this pretty much a locked version of what you guys wanted to do feature-wise?
I'm working on it today.
Good.
Yeah. We actually have a patch that should be out. Our 1.1 patch, I think, will be out tomorrow or later this week.
Ooh, exciting! Any previews?
Yeah, I mean, we really did a lot of balancing stuff, and just a lot of small community things that people had mentioned and wanted, and just a lot of cleanup across the board, a lot of UI fixes. And then the next patches we have coming out after that are going to be more content driven.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
We're expanding on this mode, and there's going to be a lot more variety. We've had a lot of requests for making the game a lot more challenging. So we have a lot more challenge in the game, and then we also added a beginner mode. You can choose like super easy beginner mode if you want. Like if you're just getting the game and you just want to get acclimated with it, we have an option for that.
And of course, and it's funny because me and Jeremy Pope, back in the Rockstar days, and if you talk to him, you should bring this up to him. We used to play Jedi Outcast every day, like around 6 p.m. And obviously, what we would play is the PvP. Is there ever any ambition or dream to maybe go PvP with this game?
It's a possibility. I can't reveal any of those secrets now, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is.
I mean, you've got some of the greatest villains in there too. You'd love to like play and battle as some of those guys. So
Ooh, yeah.
you never know.
I'm reading
Be
between
cool
the
to play
lines.
there.
Are we saying that there might be? Because I've heard a lot of people actually ask about that. If you can play some of these great villains that you have in the game.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's exciting.
Got lots of good stuff planned.
So tomorrow you guys have a patch coming out.
Yeah, it's either tomorrow or later this week. Once it goes through QA and everything, that'll hit, and then we're continuing, working on the game moving forward, as well as we got a lot of other stuff, moving at our studio.
Cool.
And
the studio's in California?
Yeah, we're in Foster City, California.
So somebody who just moved to Los Angeles that doesn't know where that is, could you tell me where that is? Like what area is that by?
It's like San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so up north. But yeah, we're a busy studio. We do a lot of VR stuff. Done a lot of console stuff in the past. Like I was the lead designer on Sly Cooper Thieves in Time.
Nice.
So who knows? You never know. We might be back working with Sly at some point.
Awesome.
We did a bunch of Sonic games for Sega, which was really fun to work on, and it's just great, being an independent developer and not having a variety of types of games to work on, and just really spreading the portfolio of the studio, and also the individuals like myself that are working on things. It's really fun just to have every day be different. You don't know what you're going to be doing and what the challenges are.
That's great. And are you guys happy with the consumption of the game? Like, did you guys sell the units that you wanted to sell? Are you surprised?
Oh yeah, it's been selling really well. Really happy with it. Being from the creative side, if it was up to me, I'd still be working on it.
Of course. Well, you still are working on it.
Yeah, but for the initial release, you always want to make it better and fix more stuff and do more. But there's always timelines and all these other things that go towards that. But yeah, we're really happy about it, and Marvel and Oculus have been fantastic to work with, and hope we can keep that relationship rolling.
Cool. Well, look, as somebody who actually, full transparency, walked into it a little bit cynical because a lot of licensed games are just not that great. I lost an entire weekend trying to master Spidey, and I got pretty dang good at it, to the point where I was impressing myself about how well I was doing with the scores. So I can't wait for this new patch. And I want to cool. Yeah, and I want to thank you for taking the time out to chat with us.
Anytime, man. I'm a huge fan. I always go to your guys' website and stuff to get some news and whatnot. So
cool.
When I saw you guys at Comic-Con, I wanted to show you guys the game, and it's great to dig in a little deeper. Yeah, man.
So look, maybe since we're both on the West Coast, maybe we can dig in a little deeper and go up to the studio, take a little visit, and maybe do some on-camera stuff.
Yeah, that would be great. We actually just expanded the studio. We can give you a grand tour, give you behind the scenes. If you ever want to do that, just hit me up. We'll set it up.
Awesome.